Here I am again. Let me situate the camera. Here I am again with a presentation of your next set of assignments due 21st July 2019, that's tomorrow, Sunday, with a deadline again of 11:59 p.m., midnight, with a grace period until 3 a.m. Monday morning. I hope you're finding that this is convenient. I'm sorry, I must have deadlines in this course. I don't have time to work with everyone at your own pace. Because of the technical difficulties in doing that, we all have to work through the course together. Please understand that. Now, the first thing that you are going to do tomorrow is participate in a class discussion. We've done this before. You will write 250 words about what you do when you write something. Okay, when you write a paper. What do you do? You don't have to spend a lot of time on this. Just write about it as you just write it as you think about it, and then reread it and make changes and so forth. If you see any obvious errors, please correct those errors. Your classmates will read this. I also wrote about my writing process when I was in the university. Way back, well, the first time I was in the university. I've been at the university or in the university many, many times over the years. So the first time I was at the university when I graduated with a BA degree, I started in 1966, way back when. And I was a horrible writer. And I had to take freshman composition. I was a horrible writer. Did I say that? Yeah, I was a horrible writer. I couldn't write my way out of a paper bag. I hated writing. So you might ask, why are you teaching writing now? Well, sometimes we teach, those who can't do something, learn how to do it, and then it's easier to teach. I think I'm a pretty good writer now, but then I wasn't. But I was lucky enough to pass. I got a C in my freshman composition course, English 101, the same course you're taking now. I was kind of lucky to get that. So I explained my writing process to you, what I was doing then. It wasn't a very good one. I hope your writing process today is not like mine was back in 1966, although I suspect that a few of you might have that same writing process that I had. I hope not. So after you have written about your writing process, you will then be able to see the writing processes that your classmates have put there on the discussion page. You can read through them. I think you'll find them interesting. If you don't see very many, you can come back later. There's nothing more that I want you to do with these other than to have the experience of you writing about your writing process, and also to see the experience of others in this class. It's kind of fun to take a look at that. That's all we're going to do with it. And then the next link on the announcement page is chapter 2 of our textbook, titled The Aims and Processes of Writing. And I want you to read chapter 2. It's also kind of long. A little bit easier to read, I think, than chapter 1, actually. Use the reading process heuristic to read this chapter. So that means preview it, skim through it, pre-read it. Whatever you should do when you pre-read it, you know what to do now. Then read it quickly without stopping. Don't use a dictionary, just read it through. And then go back through and critically read. Now, I have given you 6 questions that I want you to be able to answer as part of this critical reading process. So during critical reading, you can find the answers to these questions, along with making sure that you understand what the chapter is telling you about the writing process heuristic and about writing. Now, all you need to do is to locate the parts of the chapter that will help you answer those 6 questions. Now, if you have a hard copy of this chapter, that's great. You can underline or highlight the parts of the chapter that will help you answer the questions. If you don't have a hard copy, but you're just working online, reading it with your phone or at the computer, then you may want to take some notes that will help you answer the questions, because on Monday you will be taking a quiz over all of this material, including these questions. Okay, so I think it's a good idea to make sure that you can answer these questions. Some of you don't need to take notes and you can remember everything. That's great. Okay. So once you have read this chapter, you've taken some notes, I have another lecture video for you. It's kind of a long lecture video, but it puts everything in perspective. It's a video that takes about 30 minutes. I give this lecture in the classroom about the writing process heuristic, so you'll see me in the classroom giving you the lecture. I was lecturing a class of students. Be patient with it, listen to it carefully. I think you will find it helpful. Okay. And that's about it for this material. So the only thing that you need to do tomorrow is to do that 250-word writing, and then the reading and the lecture, and making sure that you understand everything I present to you so that you can take a quiz over this material. Okay, remember, when we read something, we read to understand, we read to remember, we read to evaluate, think critically about, and then we have this information that we remember. We have these ideas that have come to us through evaluation, so that we can talk about this material, or write about it, take quizzes about it, use it to write papers. I said take quizzes, take tests. Reading materials that professors assign really forms the basis of every classroom. You can't take a class at the college or university, well, you can't take a class period without teachers assigning readings to you. And the readings contain the information that you need to know. And what we're doing in this class is kind of practicing how to deal with information in a reading so that we can write about it, so that we can talk about it, write about it, take tests about it, take tests on it. And the reading process heuristic and the writing process heuristic are the two most important tools that we can use, all right, in the college or university environment so that we can learn. Okay? That's all I'm going to say today, I think. I think that's everything that's covered in the announcement and what we'll be doing tomorrow. It's kind of an easy day tomorrow in terms of doing something. You only have 250 words to write, and it's easy. You can finish it quickly. But the most important thing to do is to spend time with the reading and the lecture. We will see you online.